Hey, you're live with Matt and Steve on the Risk Control Show. And today we're talking about auto shop safety and what we do around chemicals and how we treat them and how we protect ourselves around them. Because in the auto shop, there's a lot of damn chemicals, is there not?
Yes, there's chemicals everywhere. You're using oils and fluids, your paint and everything in between. It's just flying. It's all and I feel like it almost all gives off fumes, Steve. So you're literally working in a cloud of this volatile mix of so many different chemicals.
Yeah, it feels like that, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
I,
Sometimes
that
it
doesn't even.
smells like
Yeah,
that.
that
Yeah,
doesn't even touch particulates like brake pad.
dust and all that.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
It's crazy. Well, and it's obvious and evident too from the Cal OSHA 2023. I'm sorry, the Federal OSHA 2023 top 10 most serious uh, violations, and that really came down to the respirators, and it was in auto shops. That was the industry that they really hit, and we kind of got a taste of it over the weekend too, where we were doing a little HAZCOM training, and people didn't really understand what they were needing to look at, and a lot of the chemicals also require um, respirators are some very good form of ventilation, including the use of mechanical ventilation. And I think it's an often overlooked area in many regards, right? People go, "Oh, I'm just going to paint this little part," or even when they puncture the can because there's a little bit left, where they puncture it, how they puncture it. Obviously, if you're I always say, like, if you got the spray can, right, and you are pointing the nozzle away from you, and you're spraying the thing, you have some intent there. When you puncture the bottom of the can, you puncture it, and it goes psh, just all
yep,
over everywhere, and
just
so you're
flies
breathing.
out everywhere. Even on a spray can or with a handheld sprayer, it comes out with a certain amount of pressure. You're going to get kind of a bounce back and a creation of an area around the point of application that even then is going to result in a lot of that chemical being in the air around you.
Right, absolutely. So it's imperative that we go through and we find respirators that fit the chemical that you're using, and that you have been fit tested, and that you know how to change it out, how to sanitize it, how to use it, how to seal check it, and all those good things. So, that's very important. You want to run over the fit test protocols? I think there's 7 steps.
Yeah, yep. There's 7 steps. So I and I think I immediately started laughing internally here because I was thinking about the client that we just recently met with. There were a few individuals, Steve, who wouldn't be able to pass the facial hair requirement on this one. Would you
Really?
agree?
You mean
So,
you mean
which
Santa
is
Claus can't wear a
yeah,
respirator?
Santa Claus. Yeah, not safely, not
Those
safely.
beards
The
look cool though, man. They're like
They
real
did.
long.
There were some magical beards. They're fantastic, but it will cause a problem with a respirator. OSHA requires actually that you'll actually have a fail on a fit test automatically if you have facial hair that crosses over or violates the space around your respirator. So let's say
Where
you
the
have
seal area is,
yeah,
yeah.
where the seal area is. So whether it's around your chin, under your chin, or along your cheeks, or over your nose,
If you got
these
facial hair
areas,
on your nose, we got bigger problems.
some kind of hair. So yeah, it's the Wolfman. Hey, come on, the Wolfman's got to have a job too,
Trim your
Steve.
nose
Okay.
hair, damn it.
Point is that before you even start the 7 steps, you actually need to be prepared and be able to have a seal along the respirator so that there is no entry point or every exit point for contaminants through the seal to get past it. All your air, all the air that you're using should be coming through the filters that will actually keep the harmful contaminants out. So to do this, we will have individuals come up. They'll bring their respirators, and we take them through these steps. It's 7 steps, 1 minute each, and one is just standing there breathing normally inside their respirator. Then they do the head shaking like this continually for a minute, then head nodding like this. So you see, what I'm talking about is what we're doing here is we're producing different facial structure movements to see if the seal holds. So that leads to some of the other tests. We have a test of where we speak. We will read the rainbow passage, or we will count down from 100, which is always fun to see several individuals trying to count down from 100 together.
They can't do it.
Little
They
side
can't do
benefit
it.
of the job. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So they'll count that out. You also have deep breathing. So you have like this, and then you'll have bending over, so you have more of a full body motion, and then you return to normal breathing, which is
Yes.
the final test. And this is all around. The unfortunate part for most everybody going through this is you actually have to be tested for sensitivity to whatever chemical is being used. Usually,
Yeah.
we prefer to use the smoke chemical,
Irritant
which is
smoke's
very
the best.
yeah,
Yeah.
irritant smoke. It's acrid and sharp, and you breathe it in, and you're gonna instantly know that you have it, and that's
I
how we
love
test
doing
whether
the
your respirator
follow-up
working.
test.
Yeah,
People are like,
the
oh, do I gotta do it again?
yeah,
They back away.
right. The first one sometimes they're like okay with it because they haven't smelled it, but the second time since they've had the first experience to fall back on, they're like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, and they always say that pain is not a good teacher. I think it's a very good teacher. You know, when you burn yourself on the stove, you don't touch it again. When you smell this, you're like, oh, no, not again, not again. Because it had, you know why? It's got the 3 C's: speed, celerity, and certainty.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and it's like it happens fast. It's definitely going to happen. And it is severe enough that you go, oh,
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, subscribers, stop typing. We know speed starts with an S. The
yeah.
point. This is a comment. We
So the
get this all the
severity.
time. That's what. Yeah,
But
that's
in
what they
criminal
call
justice,
it.
they call it the
Yeah,
three C's of crime prevention. Yeah. Yeah, it's very good. So I think the important point here that I'm trying to make is read your safety data sheets. You got to go through those. They're important. If you've been listening in, the nanny state's sticking with me for quite some number of episodes here, but nanny state or not, it's important to understand what you're working with. Go down to that section 8, look at personal exposures and protective equipment. Understand PPE stands for personal protective equipment. Respirators will be inside that category, tell you what you need, what type of respirator, what type of ventilation. And then if you do see that you need these things, then you need to make sure you have the proper respirator and go through the fit testing protocols, go through the seal check protocols, seal check your breathing in, making sure that
yep,
you cover the filters, you breathe in, and it should collapse, you blow out, it should expand, right? The
yep,
seal should stay there. You shouldn't feel air coming in other places. And that's the first part of all of that. So get that done. Wear your respirators and make sure that you're storing them properly, because inside your auto shops, if you're leaving your respirator out, boom,
yep,
you know,
yep. They're
you're
just getting more contaminated. Pool.
on the
Remember
inside.
the cloud of volatile chemicals.
Yeah, in the
That doesn't
cloud.
go away when we close the door at night and we go home. The
Yeah.
chemicals are still there,
Uh,
even with really good
That's
ventilation.
why,
So
yeah, I mean, a bunch of other tips like recap your chemicals that you're not
yeah,
using so they're
right,
not just
right.
off gassing all day.
Mhm.
It's important. It's important from a fire safety perspective. If those things get knocked over, mixed, you could get certain chemical reactions. So, auto shops, I know you guys are busy, you're doing a lot, you're constantly reaching for things and using things in all of this. Understand what you're working with. That's very, very important. So,
Yep.
Matt, we are going to be holding a little keg party, and we're also going to be holding a cigar party. and it will be invites only, of course. If you're a subscriber, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now, and you may get an opportunity to join us at one of our keg parties or cigar parties. So we hope to see you very soon. Other than that, don't forget to check out our Dollar Training Club, where we have a bunch of different trainings, and we will see you on the next episode of the Risk Control Show. Talk to you soon.